because the next thing on the agenda will be a video message from LUNGevity, who would most certainly have had a representative here, but we happened to pick a week where their office was going to be completely shut down all this week, this past week, for renovations. And they all went on vacation. So we're going to have a video message.
Hello, I am Roy, and I'm the director of LUNGevity Foundation's Translational Science Research Program. I've had the pleasure of meeting some of you, and I look forward to working with all of you at some point. The grant that we just funded through the ALK-positive lung cancer transformational research award mechanism, they're very near and dear to my heart. And not because I'm a nerd. Yes, I am an absolute nerd, and I trained as a scientist. I love research, but I can also tell you the benefits of research from a first-hand experience. When my uncle was diagnosed with lung cancer in 2002, we didn't even know about EGFR and ALK and ROS1, BRAF at that point. But flash forward 2016, when my aunt was diagnosed with lung cancer and we found out that her cancer was EGFR positive, I could see that she had benefited from some of the progress we had seen in targeted therapies from the EGFR TKIs, and that should be the norm, not the exception. And this is what we hope to achieve with the ALK-positive lung cancer transformational research awards. And again, thank you for a great partnership, and we look forward to working with all of you.
Hi, my name is Raphael Nemanoff. I'm a professor of medicine at the University of Colorado Anschutz Medical Campus, working in the area of lung cancer research. I'm here to thank the LUNGevity Foundation. We were recently fortunate enough to receive an award from this foundation. I'm here to thank the foundation, and in particular the patient advocates who have worked tirelessly to raise money for this foundation and have also participated in all of its activities. And we're really excited about getting this award and hope to really do something important with it. The project that we've received support for is entitled Targeting the Complement Pathway in ALK-positive Lung Cancer. The complement pathway is a component of the innate immune system, which communicates with the adaptive immune system. There's been a huge amount of excitement in the last several years regarding immunotherapies as treatments for multiple cancers, including lung cancer. And there are several FDA-approved immunotherapies. Unfortunately, the response rate for patients with ALK-positive lung cancer to these therapies is very poor. We're excited because our project, using complement inhibitors in preclinical studies, appears to have large benefits for ALK-positive lung cancer. Thus, completion of this project and developing a mechanistic understanding and validating these inhibitors in preclinical models will lead to a clinical trial focusing on ALK-positive lung cancers and potentially provide a new immunotherapy for these patients which are resistant to the current therapies that have been approved. We think this is an exciting therapeutic avenue to pursue, and we have connections with pharma already established, which we think are going to be beneficial in driving this forward from a clinical point of view. Again, we want to express our thanks to the LUNGevity Foundation and all the patients who have worked hard to this, and we hope that we can do something really important with the funds you have provided. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Mark Awad. I'm a thoracic medical oncologist at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in Boston. My research focus is on immunotherapy treatments for lung cancer, and I'm very fortunate to have received a grant from the LUNGevity Foundation and the ALK-positive community. Our research focus is on trying to develop new ways of harnessing the immune system to fight lung cancer. And as many of you know, patients who have a never smoking or light smoking history, and in particular patients with ALK-positive lung cancers, tend not to benefit as much from some of the immunotherapy treatments that have really revolutionized the care of patients with other types of lung cancer. And so the focus of our grant proposal is really trying to develop new ways of harnessing the power of the immune system specifically to target ALK-positive lung cancers. Some of our earlier work showed that some patients with ALK-positive lung cancer spontaneously generate antibodies against the ALK protein, and some of our additional work is showing that some patients with ALK-positive lung cancer also have T cells that can react and fight against those ALK-positive lung cancer cells. And so our vaccine therapeutic strategy is trying to develop ways of enhancing the immune response and really engaging the immune system in the fight against ALK-positive lung cancer. And we're really fortunate that the ALK-positive community has come together, has really rallied together to increase awareness and advocacy and fundraising for research on ALK-positive lung cancers. It's really going a long way to fuel some of the research that we're doing at Dana-Farber.
Hello, my name is Justin Gaynor. I'm a medical oncologist at Mass General Hospital. And on behalf of my co-investigators at Mass General and Memorial Sloan Kettering, I just wanted to extend a huge thank you to ALK-positive and LUNGevity. We are absolutely thrilled to receive this award, and we really look forward to hitting the ground running. This award in particular is especially meaningful and inspirational because it comes from you, our patients. So I wanted to take just a brief minute to thank you. This is really such a unique platform where it's really patients driving research, and also give you a little insight into what exactly we've been doing. So much of this project focuses on how ALK-positive lung cancers may evade the immune system. Now, many of you have heard that over the last 3 to 4 years, immunotherapies have really changed how we treat many forms of lung cancer. But nonetheless, those benefits haven't extended to everybody. And so the goal of this research is really to try to understand what is it about ALK-positive lung cancers that make them less responsive to immunotherapies, and can we harness those insights and transform therapies and open up this form of therapy to ALK-positive patients. So this project has several parts. The first part is really focused on trying to understand the genetics of ALK-positive lung cancers, but not necessarily from a resistance mutation standpoint, but from a standpoint of how the genetics may actually influence the immune system around these tumors. And so beyond studying just the genetics, we also want to try to understand what are the types of immune cells that are in the neighboring environment of these tumors in order to try to be able to harness the power of those immune cells and really overcome barriers that may be in their way, and therefore effectively treat these cancers. And lastly, the final part of this project, I think, is completely new and could be revolutionary, and that is trying to harness what's called cellular therapies. Many of you may be familiar with this concept of CAR T cells, where immune cells are taken out of the body, genetically modified in order to make them more reactive against tumors, and then reinfused into our patients. Now, this is a technology that has really transformed the treatment of various liquid tumors, such as lymphoma and leukemias. But those strategies haven't really extended into solid tumors to date. So one of our, I think, novel ideas is to try to develop a similar technology for ALK-positive lung cancers. Now, a lot of work has to go into this, and the first step is trying to actually identify immune cells in patients that are already reacting against ALK. This can be like finding a needle in a haystack, but we've already started these efforts and are already starting our screens to try to find these ALK-specific T cells that are just circulating in patients. And the goal, once we find one of those, is to actually then be able to what's called clone the T cell receptor, and that will tell us exactly what those immune cells are reacting against. And that can provide the framework for developing these cellular therapies. So that's just a little snapshot on what this project is all about. Again, we are incredibly excited. We're incredibly grateful and we look forward to sharing more updates with you over the coming months and years. So again, much gratitude and thank you. Bye-bye.
We're on the first review committee, and they stood nose to nose with Shaw and Camage and Craig Riley and whoever else was on the medical review team. So I said I was going to let you say all this.
So I'd never done anything like this before, whereas some of the other members of the review committee had. So it was all a learning curve for me. But basically we, again, thanks to LUNGevity, I had no idea whether we'd get any grant applications. We didn't know, we had no idea. We ended up with 14. That was way beyond my wildest dreams. And I'd say all but 2 of them looked very exciting, and 2 of them not so much, and even they were good, but just in a different way. So we had to go through a process of reading what are called LOIs, which stands for Letter of Intent, which is a brief summary of what their project is going to be. And we weeded down the 14 to 7, and then we weeded the 7 down to 6, and then those 6 were requested to send in a full application, which gives a lot more technical detail. A lot of it was even way over my head, and I'd have to keep doing research to try to understand what they were really talking about. And we'd have phone conferences and phone calls, but we ended up with 3 really exciting proposals. It's quite surprising, because I was thinking it was going to be all about finding mechanisms of resistance to TKIs and so on, and I'd actually been the one in the first place that had said, let's not limit this to resistance to TKIs. Let's broaden this. Our big objective is just making sure we live longer and live better, and I don't care how it gets done. And so it actually ended up that the 3 best applications, and we're going to see some really amazing videos later on, so I won't really say too much, but they actually surprisingly all ended up being related to immunotherapy. And I'd always been the one that had said immunotherapy doesn't work for ALK, not interested. But when we read through these, it's like, immunotherapy doesn't work for ALK, let's make it work. And so that's what these projects are about. So it's very exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing more fundraising and more research grants being put out in the future. So let's not stop at 3, let's not stop at 4 or 5 or 6. Let's stop when everyone in the ALK-positive community has a guaranteed cure. Let's not stop till then.
I was on the secondary review panel, and let me just tell you that the primary review panel, their knowledge base and expertise is unbelievable. People who have ALK-positive lung cancer, there are some seriously smart people who have this disease, and amazingly, their knowledge base was just incredible on, I mean, I'm trying to think of some of the masters from Duke, Princeton, Harvard.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just amazing, the knowledge base of ALK-positive survivors that were on this primary panel. My job on the secondary panel was basically just to make sure that they followed some of the rules. And our main rule was that we wanted the research money to go to research that would immediately impact ALK lung cancer. So that's kind of what our job was just to make sure that they followed the rules. But gosh, the grant reviews that we got to see were just absolutely incredible. LOIs and what scientists have in their mind and ways to help us. So it was really exciting to be a part of that, and just to give us so much hope that this is doable. To figure this out is so doable. Thanks to the people from the very beginning, like Linnea, who have helped to make this journey to give us so much more hope, because when I was diagnosed, we didn't have a lot of hope. And then I saw people like Linnea, who I was like, oh my gosh, she's doing this, she's surviving this, and this is doable. And to see these scientists and their minds, these are such smart people, this is doable. We can do this. And so this is just giving me so much hope, just to be able to read through the grants and to see that we can fund this as a group together, and just to see that we are going to survive this. We're just on the brink of it, and they're going to figure this out. So anyway, I'm so excited to be a part of this.
We're open for other